So it's my pleasure to introduce the governor, who I've come to know in the last 6 months as really just a great human, in addition to being a very competent governor. And from the conversations that we've had, and we've had a lot of them, when you're in the Corrections Commission, you have a lot of conversations with the governor. Really cares about the state employee workforce. He's here because he really cares about what we do. He values our work. I think it came through in the budget that we put on the table this year, where the department added more positions to the department after quite a protracted period of cutting positions. I think it's a good signal to the work that we do and the value that the governor places on our work. And so without going on for too long, it's my pleasure to introduce Governor Shumlin.
Thank you so much. Really, we're clapping for you. You all do an extraordinary job, and I got to tell you, as your governor, you make me proud. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. And you know, when I ran for governor, people kept asking, you know, who would you put around you? Who would you appoint? And I kept saying, well, listen, smarter people than me. And I want to thank, first of all, Secretary Doug Racine, who's doing an extraordinary job at the Agency of Human Services, toughest job in state government, with the exception of maybe Commissioner of Corrections. Thank you, Doug. And to Commissioner Polito, you make me proud every single day. And I am so glad that we convinced you to stay on with this team. And you are really a model for commissioners in this country, and we're proud of you. So thank you. And to Lisa, for your hard work and all your work today, you're a reflection of this great agency, and we really appreciate your work. Thank you so much. It's been a tough few months for the corrections in regard to the passing of Blaine Passault, and I know that his wife isn't here today, but obviously my heart and my condolences are with Blaine's family. And I want to make a special mention of our dedication today to Michael O'Malley. And he's an example of what's so great about Vermont and what's so great about our corrections department. And I know that he would do anything to be here with us today. And I just want to say to Pat and to Megan, our love is with you today and with you in your loss. And we deeply appreciate you being here. Where are they? Stand up. Thank you. Give them a hand. A couple of quick comments I want to make about why it was so important for me to be here for you awardees and why I'm so proud of you. You know, I believe that Vermont has to be tough on crime and smart on crime. And both are equally important. And this one means so much to me because I know that we have a lot of dangerous people, criminals, who do terrible things to innocent victims. And as far as I'm concerned, we ought to lock them up and keep them there. But I also know that the work you do every day, not only with them, but with our nonviolent offenders, is what gives me hope that we can also treat those who are not violent offenders and get them reintegrated into society when their time is up and make them productive members of our society again. And you know, that's different than a lot of other states, and it's different than a lot of other governors feel about the people that you work with. The reason that I have so much hope is because of you. Because you treat those who deserve respect in the system with the respect that they deserve. And that's why I'm bound and determined, working with Secretary Racine and Commissioner Polito, to bring back 100 of our inmates from out of state and bring them back to the people that get it right. And it's you. It isn't Kentucky, it's Vermont. So thank you for your work. Now, I don't want to say this in front of Secretary Racine because he heard this story so many times that he can take a pass. If you want to go eat in the hall, you go for it. We'll give you forgiveness. Yeah, there he goes. you know, the reason I care so much about the nonviolent offender work that we're doing on the war and recidivism and to work with you is that I recognize every day I could have been one of those kids, and I could have been one of those inmates. Let's be honest about this. As you know, I am dyslexic. I had trouble learning how to read. The only reason I learned how to read is growing up in Vermont before special education and before any kind of special attention was given to learners like me. They just kind of sent you out. And I got called into the principal's office in second grade to have my parents be told what I already knew, but I wished beyond wish that they would never find out, which is that they couldn't teach me how to read. And I had a teacher who happened to think that there was some hope for me after they told me in front of my parents that I wasn't going to college, I wasn't going to have a professional career, but they would do the best they could. That was a great day. But my point is, she took me home, and that took me literally to her lawn in the summertime and her wood stove in the wintertime. She lived in a log cabin up on Windmill Hill Road in Westminster, West Vermont, and she just spent about a year teaching me how to read. I wouldn't have learned otherwise. Well, you know that the people, nonviolent offenders that you work with, in many cases, have difficulty reading. And what would have happened to me is I lost my self-esteem in grade school. My biggest fear is still a spelling bee. And when you go to the back of the class, try not get noticed, can't learn how to read, then you start to act up, then you start to drink, then you start to do drugs, then you drop out, then you go to prison. Let's be honest about it. You develop drug and alcohol-related addictions that lead to really bad behavior. So my point is, I got blessed. I didn't get sucked into that because I had a teacher who believed in me, but a lot of people don't. And they come from much tougher families than I came from. So we know that our job together is to lock up those who should be locked up and to find ways to work with those who need drug and alcohol treatment, who need housing, who need job skills, who need mental health counseling, and who need the many other ingredients in life that they've missed, so we don't end up back in the system, 60 or 70% of them, within 3 years after they're released. So that's our job together, is to continue to do your job well. Let's do it in Vermont, not Kentucky, because we'll give them more hope. And let's be sure that we start to win the war of recidivism so that we're not spending $47,000 a year locking up folks who need drug and alcohol and other kinds of help to get them as productive members of this great state. So enough said. Let's get on with it. We got a proclamation, right?
We do. You do.
I do. Andy's hiding it from me.
Nope.
There we go.
Someone want to read it down with it.
So today, we put together this proclamation in honor of all of the extraordinary work that you're doing. And I'm going to give it to Andy, as you know, the commissioner, on behalf of all of you. And I won't read it to you because you've been sitting here long enough. Am I between lunch and... Yeah? Have you eaten?
Yeah. No.
No? Well, okay. We're going to make this really short. I'm smart enough not to get between you and lunch. But this is a proclamation where, after extolling your virtues, it simply says, now therefore I, Peter Shumlin, Governor, hereby proclaim May 15, 2011 as Correctional Employee Week. That's you. And Vermont, and urge all citizens to pay special tribute to these men and women who serve us so faithfully. It's an honor to give this to you, Commissioner, and it's an honor to have you working for the state, doing such a great job, and we're proud of every single one of you. Thank you so much.